What's up, guys? It's Benny. I remember that the nation mourned for days, months, years even, after George Floyd OD'd on fentanyl. He was given a state funeral and a golden casket. Yet, this Ukrainian refugee walks onto a bus and is slaughtered. And we don't even get the full video, something that I'm going to talk about here that I think is particularly criminal, that we don't actually get to see the horrible thing that happens, even though they played for us George Floyd's death again and again and again and again. They zoomed in, cinema style, made sure that that was playing nonstop in order to get the political activation they wanted. We don't even get to see this death. They cut the actual gruesome part of it out. And they just show the monster wandering around, blood dripping from his hand, as this career psychotic homeless criminal stabbed through the throat this poor Ukrainian refugee white woman who was simply trying to make her way home from her hourly job at a pizza place. It is enraged the entire internet, and nobody's covering it, by the way. It's only channels like ours. This has not been covered by any of the major news companies in the country. No one has written it up. There are no articles about it in the AP or the New York Times. Here, this is a great example. Okay, so this is the name of the Ukrainian that was stabbed to death by the black career criminal for nothing on the bus. They didn't, by the way, they didn't know each other. They'd never met. This is just a straight up racial hate crime that was committed. Deadly racial hate crime, targeted and premeditated. 0 results. Search George Floyd in the AP. 75,000 results for George Floyd. It really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder, like, what is the purpose of our media? There's a list of news networks that have not covered the Charlotte, North Carolina slaughter and murder and racial targeting hate crime. Every single one of them wrote stories about Daniel Penny, a Marine that actually prevented murders. But when somebody actually gets murdered by something Daniel Penny was trying to prevent, they don't even write about it. What is the editorial reasoning by the New York Times here? Daniel Penny, hundreds of results for the New York Times. Irina Zestruka is her name. She's the Iranian refugee. 0 results. Would you look at that? Matt Walsh, of course, knocking out of the park here. Our society is held hostage by a teeny minority of violent, antisocial degenerates. What makes it all the more infuriating is that it doesn't have to be like this. We could all have all of these criminals off the street permanently in the span of a few months if we had the will. This is exactly what happened in El Salvador, and you take the deadliest country on earth and you turned it into one of the safest countries on earth just by locking up the criminals. And it's not like an insane amount of people. It's just a small portion of the country, like 1% or less. You lock them up permanently, put them away. Like this individual has been locked up 14 different times. DeCarlos Brown, he's been arrested 13 times, 2 of which were for assaulting women with deadly weapons. In January 2025 of this year, Judge Teresa Stokes allowed him to be released with no cash bail. Last month, Brown's public defender questioned his mental capacity. The judge, Roy Wiggins, ordered a forensic evaluation while allowing Brown to just remain free and terrorize everyone. The judges and DAs need to be held accountable for this. They're the ones who murdered the girl, actually. It's their job to keep him from her. They're the ones who murdered her. This poor girl was randomly murdered by a thug with a violent criminal history, for which he served minimal jail time. He should have been locked up for life after the first, second, third assault. I mean, at what point do you say, nope, you no longer belong in society? It's wild. Ladies and gentlemen, haunting video. Homeless ex-con. Homelessness needs to be made illegal in this country. You have no right to just live out in the streets. You're not allowed to lay down in the crosswalks. This should be the biggest story in America, but it isn't. Thankfully, the White House is finally sounding off. Sadly, she was safer in war-torn Ukraine than on a city bus in America. We can't keep living like this. The only solution is ruthless punishment, public execution for violent criminals, long prison sentences, hard labor. This guy had multiple previous arrests. He should have been doing 30 years in a labor camp. This is the only way. Our ancestors knew. We tried compassion and restorative justice. This is the result. Time to go back to the old ways. By the way, yeah, you'll notice 0 riots, 0 looting, 0 protests, 0 burned city. And this is 10,000 times worse than what happened to George Floyd. 10,000 times. I'm not even sure it's on the same scale. Because once again, and we will, one of the few channels that'll actually say it, read the autopsy report. George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. If you're going to be angry about who killed George Floyd, be angry at the Communist Chinese Party and the Mexican drug cartels. That's just a matter of fact. Sorry if it offends you. The murderer of Irina Zastruka has been arrested 14 times. This is beyond ridiculous. This monster had not been permanently locked up. The state party is responsible. The state is responsible for her death. That's exactly right. Look at these mugshots. Look at this. At what point, at which mugshot do you just say, you're staying in jail forever? It's not a senseless attack. This is not a random attack. It's not a senseless attack. This is what anybody who is covering this is like, oh, it's just another senseless attack. It's not. Premeditated hate crime against the single most systematically targeted and dehumanized population on the planet, white people. This is racial barbarism. Weak men created this, and strong men will fix it. It's really, really sad. We've been out here trying to preach about this. This wasn't random. This was preventable. There's a war on white people. Her blood is in the hands of a system that lets violent criminals roam while innocent people pay the price. Go check. Go check the gun rates. Go check the violent crime rates. If you were to lock up a minuscule percentage of the city, so there's been 1,700 arrests in Washington, D.C., and the city is a completely different place. The city is a paradise now. They locked up 1,700 people. 1,700 people have been now arrested in D.C. and put away. And now the city is a paradise. The city has 600,000 residents, and it was 1,000 residents that were terrorizing everyone. That's how it works in every city. Jesse Smollett's fake hate crime drew more media outrage than this. Here we go. Stephen Miller, arguably the most powerful person in President Trump's cabinet because he's just such a powerful advisor to the president and the mastermind behind so many of the policies of the administration. The Democrat Party at every level, judges, politicians, academics, nonprofits, are organized around the defense and protection of the criminal. The monstrous and depraved, the more vile the threat, the more vociferously the Democrat Party protects and enables it. Precisely, totally correct. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how they could possibly win. Stephen Miller also reposted this from Secretary Sean Duffy, Secretary of Transportation and NASA. Charlotte's mayor doesn't want the media to show you the ugly truth. Why? Because she and the other public officials in the city bear responsibility. The monster had a track record longer than a CVS receipt, including prison time for robbery, dangerous weapon, and breaking and entering and larceny. By failing to properly punish him, Charlotte failed the North Carolinians and Irina Zastruka. It's totally unacceptable. Safety needs to be the top priority of elected officials. Citizens don't want federal dollars going to public transportation that local leaders refuse to keep safe. This is in response to the mayor of Charlotte, named V. Lyles. She didn't demand accountability for how the repeat offender with 14 arrests was able to slaughter this woman. By the way, he was riding the public transit illegally. He didn't have any money. He was fare hopping, fare skipping. What she did was thank the media for keeping quiet. Her statement isn't about outrage or responsibility. It's a polite pat on the back to journalists for not sharing the video and not describing what actually happened. By the way, we need to see the full video. This is the cover-up by not seeing the full video. So this is Doge State Department quoting us, saying Dem and fake news perverted the refugee and asylum laws to import millions of unscreened violent migrants into this country. When DHS removes these criminals, the left sues and cries a risk to safety of cartel members and human traffickers. Those same immigrant activists are conspicuously and shamefully silent when a real refugee fleeing war in Ukraine is brutally murdered. The Trump administration will not stop until our streets are clean and every citizen is safe. Good for them. If it were not for X, we would not know about any of these attacks. It's exactly correct. It's time to declare the Democrat Party a criminal organization. Stephen Miller's retweeted all of these. Truth. Look at how this story was covered by the media. Maybe you could ask the media why at the next press conference. Look at this. Judges and prosecutors have blood on their hands. Stephen Miller is undefeated as always. Thank you for addressing this. You cannot disagree with this. I look forward to having more Trump administration officials sounding off on this. How many arrests does it take for a liberal judge to finally say that this lunatic belongs behind bars and is too dangerous to walk the streets again? Sick monsters. Makes me angry. We're looking for ways that we can help. ladies and gentlemen, right now the best that we can do is prayers for sanity, for her family, and to fix this broken nation. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. That's what we're looking for. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.